What's going on, Miles?
Hello, Brian. It is Friday. Do you know what Friday means?
Friday? No. Two Eyes Friday. I forgot how this worked. What does it mean, Miles?
It means last day of the main week.
The main week. So
Yeah, and that's what the Latin is. Like last day of the main week, and then
so now begins the first next day of the sub week.
I was about to say sub week. So you've heard of this? Okay, I thought it was a lie.
Yes.
Okay, it was true then. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was being lied to by someone. All right, cool.
Wonderful. Cool. And
Glad we got out of the way.
Educational Corner with Brian Paul and Miles Dyer.
Improv team, or improv group.
It's gonna be such a bad.
We just changed the name of it. Like that's what we do at Improv Group. We just keep shaking the name up.
Is it Improv Group? I thought somebody called it Improv Club. Improv Group.
Improv. Well, whatever we want it to be. Improv team.
Right.
Improv team. Team improv. Team improv.
We
put your votes in the chat. What we should be called next week.
We improvise the name of our group every single time it comes up in conversation. That is the ultimate improv group. And if any improv group out there is not doing the same, you're nowhere near as good as our improv organization. Let's do this, Miles. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. We also care about your oral pleasure. That's why our good friend Rod Pop uploads this to podcast services of your choice. My name is Brian Paul from the channel right here without Parole, and joining me each and every Friday, it's Miles Dyer from YouTube.com/ oh my God, I can't wait to see what he's writing. Miles.
Improv team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're called. I don't want to forget.
Yeah, Looper says Improv Cast. Mischievous Marquez says Team Improv. DTB says the Improv Comedy Podcast. Okay. We good?
Almost done. Oh, you're going to like this, Brian. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Do you know what this is?
Future events.
Do you know what it is, though?
It's a notepad with 2 words on it that say future events.
It's a sign of things to come. Hey, Brian. Hey, Gamecats. Happy Friday. The Game Awards was last night.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch it, Brian?
Kind of. I was trying to work, and so it's kind of on in the background. Work. Yeah, you know that Behemoth review that's never gonna fucking come out.
Yeah.
I was trying to work on that, and so Steve Irie says he's trying.
And how did it go? Did you balance it out perfectly? So you got both done. You got to watch the Game Awards, and you got the review done. Yeah.
You didn't watch my Behemoth review? It's epic, dude. It's epic. It is 14 and a half minutes.
I don't know what other words there are for massive, but it is up there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would say it's definitely bloated. That's a good word for it.
Bloated. Oh yeah, began with B. Bloated. That's it. Yeah.
So anyway, the point is that so yes, I've accomplished all my goals for the day. No, dude, listen, I like the Game Awards. I'm glad there's something in place of E3, and I think they were like, oh, this is the 10th Game Awards. And I was like, wow, it feels like you guys are sort of just getting the hang of this now. Like, why is it taking you 10 years to get here? It doesn't make any sense for me. But you know, I think it's okay. But just like my Behemoth review, it's really bloated. I think if it was a 2-hour event, it would be so much better.
It was long, but I have to say, generally speaking, I do watch it every year. I think there's only 1 year before that I've watched it in its entirety, and it was when I went to this IMAX screening of it, and I kind of enjoyed it. But it's just so bloated with commercials. I actually thought this was one of the strongest years I've seen, because there were commercials in there, but they were minuscule. They were like peppered throughout, quite not subtle, but like they weren't. You didn't see a commercial and go, "All right, we've got a massive commercial bit." Like everything was moving quite quickly. They had a lot of awards, and they had a good diversity of like awards and sections and stuff like that and reveals. Yeah. I had a good time with it. And I was really happy with the Naughty Dog reveal at the end. Yes. There was like two things that I thought could have been like a big announcement. One was, I felt like we might see something new from Naughty Dog. Is it going to be The Last of Us Part 3, or is it going to be this new like sci-fi fantasy thing they've been working on? And then the other piece was like, there was all these rumors going around about Half-Life 3 and is Valve releasing a new VR headset and these kind of things. So that was all kind of cool. But I have to say, though, having a VR Game of the Year, one thing it did make me think is the moment that VR makes it is the year that a VR game gets nominated for Game of the Year. Not the VR Game of the Year, but when we, right. Don't worry about winning it, but like the Game Awards hasn't had that happen yet. There's never been a Game Awards where a VR game has been nominated for Game of the Year, right?
Not
Half-Life Alyx or anything like that.
Not even close, as far as I remember. No. But yeah. How far off do you think we are from that?
It's a really good question. I don't know, man. Like, I wouldn't say. I was going to say I wouldn't say a couple of years. I'd say maybe 5 years, but I don't know, man. Things could really ramp up in the next couple of years. I mean, Batman, I think, is a big step for VR because it's like the Arkham IP. A lot of people were taking notice of it, even if they haven't played it. I think that was a big deal. It's another example of big IPs moving into the space, which is great to see. What do you think? 2 years from now, Brian, is that too soon? Or do you think...
Yeah. Listen, Silver Nexus in the chat says a decade. Who said Left Central Gaming says 20 years. I think
5 to 10.
5 to 10, yeah, because I was thinking 6 or 7, so 5 to 10 is exactly what I'm thinking. And it's only because things are progressing in the VR space way more rapidly than they progress on the flat screen, right? If you look at the entire length of flat screen gaming and how long it took to get to a certain point, it was decades. I mean, like 30, 40 years to get where we're at now. And but VR gaming has come a long way in a very short amount of time, and it's sort of, just like the Game Awards, it's suddenly finding its footing, and I think it's starting to get better and better and better, almost with each passing game. So I would say 5 or 6 years. The problem I think, Miles, is less about an amazing VR game coming along and challenging a flat screen game for Game of the Year. I think it's more about getting the flat screen audience to play it and acknowledge how great it is, to actually even allow it to get that nomination. I think that's going to be the hard part.
Yeah.
Right. So I know, is Keeley a VR fan?
Is who a VR fan?
Jeff Keeley?
Good question. Well, didn't he go to Valve when they were developing Half-Life Alyx? I think he did a series on it. That's not answering the question, by the way, but in terms of like, what has he actually done with VR? Right. I know that he always got sent stuff from Sony, and he always did videos with like the DualSense control and that. I didn't see him do it with VR. So, I mean, my feeling is no. He's never been vocal about it, but I don't know. So someone could tell me if that's not the case, but yeah, I don't think he has. I mean, I'm sure he's played some VR stuff, but like, it's not something he'll lean into, and that will also be a factor.
Well, I gotta say, I did not expect to see the new Naughty Dog IP to end the show. I was kind of floored because you and I were talking a little bit before the show, and like, if you had asked me, what's their next IP going to be? I probably would have just said, some other thing that takes place in either like a, either post-apocalyptic world or something like that it seems something that seems very grounded. I think
grounded and gritty. Yeah.
Right. because that's sort of been their thing for a long time. And like with Uncharted, it's like the Uncharted games just get better and better, except for Uncharted 4. We all know that sucks. And I'll get I'll get some hate comments. Don't worry. There'll be people coming to your defense, Miles, in the comments afterwards. They're not ballsy enough to say it in the chat right now, though. Are you? Are you? Are you?
No, it's just a bit of lag. Just a bit of lag.
Yeah, no, take your time. Take your time. I'm in no hurry to see.
Oh no!
Here
it comes.
So basically, you know, so and then with The Last of Us, it's like, oh, this is kind of more Uncharted, but you know, just sort of like we just moved it forward in time a little bit, and you know, it's Uncharted-ish, right? Ish. So you know, obviously with a massive tone shift. So
inspired in part by Cowboy Bebop, which I loved. That was what they mentioned. Like,
yeah,
damn,
good stuff. So this is great, man. And like for no other than being excited to see something new from first party Sony, because God knows we don't see stuff that we're excited from first party Sony nearly enough. Other than that, I'm excited for the team of Naughty Dog, because dude, it gets real boring doing the same thing every single fucking day of your life. Same shit every single. Oh, now make another Uncharted game. Now make another Last of Us game. You know how bored some of those people must be over there. It's like
they had a game cancelled. You know.
Oh my God, yeah. So I feel like I feel like this is something that they can get excited about. This is something that they can, you know, there's no limits here. This world hasn't been created, or this world has been being created for the last 4 years. So they get to start fresh, and they just get to get all these new ideas out. And I hope that they're excited to work on this, because it feels good. It feels fresh. So hopefully that comes across in the final product.
Yeah. Amen.
Right, we've got a lot of tips to tackle. So, boom, let's go back here and let's see what everyone has to say. Scrolling all the way back up to the top, we got Julian Fricker with the 2 quid, says, what's the first rule of Improv Club? It's BYOB. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2? No one gets number 2, because they'll bring way too much booze.
Whoa. Okay.
No, dude, no one cares about anything after the booze. They just need a room to hang out in.
That's true. That is true.
Damien, Monica Delwater. I've been saying just Damien every time his name shows up. But I think it's Damien and Monica Delwater. With $10 tip. Yes, talk to me.
Delorda.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Well, Miles, I don't know if you remember this, but the last show we did, Damien was very upset that there was no red blood in Behemoth. Losing his shit. And now, with the $10 tip, he says, the blood's back! Behemoth! Nothing beats thrusting my sword into an already downed enemy and watching the blood squirt. Wife thinks I need to seek therapy. Love the show.
Yeah. Should we talk about Behemoth?
Yeah, we can talk about Behemoth.
Yeah, man.
I just played the update before the show. Did you play the update before the show?
I did it. I did indeed. And this is a classic example where I get too scared about saying something specific that actually has not changed in the game. So all I will say is, honestly, I've played maybe 20 minutes with the update, carrying on from where I was on my Let's Play, and I was having a blast.
I started a new game.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was having an absolute blast, and it feels like an improvement. I just think it's a lot of the intuition. The issues I was having when I first played it at launch, there was things that just didn't feel intuitive and janky. We always use that term. And a lot of that has seemed to have gone. So there's just been some great optimization.
Dude, I don't have no idea what happened between the last time I played this game and this time. And so, listen, I need everyone to get on my page here for a second. I need everyone to come with me. And I need your support, everyone. I think reviewing games for launch is the worst fucking idea I could possibly ever. Because it does a number on me. There's always I'm always playing games and having to, despite my desire to play them slowly in a couple hours at a time, here and there, whatever. There's still a looming embargo date, and so I'm going to put a little bit of this on me, and a little bit of this on the game, but I really feel like if we all just said, hey, fuck embargoes, let's let's take our time. We'll talk about the launch day, the game that launches on Gamescast. Right? We'll talk about that game on day one. That way you have the information you need. Right? No one's trying to pull a fast one and say, "Oh, hey, I'm not going to review it because the game's not ready." It's like, well, no, the game's out. We're going to talk about it on the show and give the developers shit for all the mistakes they made and for all the day one patches that aren't there. That's the important part, right? Make sure that people know what they're buying day one. But dude, again, I don't know how much of this is on me and about how much of this is on Skydance. But when I played today, I was having so much fun. Yes, the new patches like that, really balance the stamina better. I think make the combat more fun. I was taking
Agreed.
One after another. I wasn't afraid to really swing my sword because it was gonna take some stamina off. I was just having fun with it because that's the game they made. The game they made isn't about managing your stamina, right? Maybe in some climbing sections, maybe some Behemoth sections, it's like they were trying to go for the Shadow of the Colossus thing, right? Fine. But in battle, no, man, this is supposed to be like this brutal arcade brawler. And I feel like all the decisions they made prior to this kept it from being the fun game that was kind of hiding right underneath. And so I strongly believe that the way that it is right now, if I replayed the entire game, all the sections that I kind of complained were a little bit too long and kind of droned on way too long, and just enemy after enemy, I actually think I'd enjoy those way more now.
Yeah.
So I'm actually glad my review's not out. I'm glad that I had to play the patched version, despite the fact that no one's going to care about the review once it's out. But I'm really glad this went the way that it did, because I think this game is much better than a lot of people are giving it credit for.
Yeah, I actually played early and I thought, wow, I was way too harsh on this game. And I never said it was a bad game. I said it's a good game, but it's just got a lot of potential and a lot of design issues, which did sound like a downer. And I hadn't, I've only been on the first Behemoth, so I haven't got further on. But yeah, I mean, one part they have in their patch release notes on their website, it says, so let's cut straight to it. And this is what you mentioned. Combat has been controversial. Plenty of people love it as designed, so we're not going to radically change it. But we also heard reports from players who were frustrated by things like stamina drain, parrying challenges, and narrow windows for dodging attacks. Armed with your feedback and our own notes on things we'd like to adjust and improve, we fine-tuned our systems to make stamina, parrying, and dodging more forgiving. We think this new combat tuning will enhance the experience for all players, helping you live out your wildest warrior dreams. And for those who want an even deeper discount, you can do freestyle mode. This reduces the combat stamina drain to minimize levels, effectively enabling you to swing away until you literally physically run out of gas, which I bet you will make some really great social content. I played today for 20 minutes, and without actually reading the notes, I just thought I want to go in there and see how it feels. I play on the hardest mode, and I mentioned last week my issue with it is the game design philosophy, which is when you die, you don't want to feel like you were cheated by the game. You want to die and think, it's because I messed up, I'll try again. I wasn't feeling that before. I was feeling frustrated, like the game was robbing me. Yeah. And some people go, no, you're just plain trash. Well, fair enough. Well, this time, when I made a mistake and I clearly didn't parry in the right direction, I died straight away. And I was like, yeah, that was my mistake. But it did mean when I did parry, I was able to then start doing some damage, doing combos. The whole combat felt a lot more fluent and dynamic. And there was this continuous sense of momentum in these arenas that you're battling in, which is what I feel it needs to be. As you said, that arcade fantasy, you're in these arenas with all these enemies. You don't want to have to be waiting for your power up to recharge just to then cheese it and smash them with the strength, ability. So yeah, I'm really liking how it feels, and I'm looking forward to playing with more of it. The other thing was when I put the headset on, and it'd been a week since I played it last, I thought the game looked better, but I don't think there's any difference there, right?
Listen, I think the game always looks beautiful. I think it looks beautiful today in the exact same way that it had been looking. So I don't think there's any massive improvements, but from when we were playing pre-launch, there was a lot of pop-in right? There was always like, anytime there was a doorway, whatever was on the other side of that doorway was always flashing or flickering before you got
Yes.
to it. And then there were just some sections of the world that would just flicker in and out. It was it was distracting because the game is so beautiful. And so I know that they fixed some of that at launch, but it wasn't all gone. And I know that it's not still all gone now, but it is so much better now to the point where, like, I mean, so far I haven't noticed any, which is really nice. And so, there's, is it a better looking game now because of that? I think it is. So that's the best.
Yeah, they just said that like various lighting issues have been resolved, so maybe that's what it is. Again, it's something I couldn't really put my finger on. And again, it's not that it always looks amazing, but I was just like, I feel like the sort of the polish. It's the polish that we talk about. Like, it's the things that were subconsciously making me think I'm playing a game, whereas this time I was like, no, I'm actually in this world. I feel that a lot more now. So yeah, I can't wait to play more of it.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm really, really happy with this. I was a little frustrated with Behemoth because what we said was the highs are so high and the lows are just kind of like, meh, So that's what I felt anyway. I saw somebody in the comments say something like the Behemoths are a 9 and the rest of the game is a 5. So where does that leave you, right? But now I'm really feeling like the rest of the game is much more than a 5. Like, and so if the Behemoths are a 9. And the game is like a 7, 5, 8, something along those lines. Maybe we're definitely back at, in the nice solid mid 8 territory, maybe even high 8 territory. So listen, hats off to Skydance. I know that, people are not happy. Why would they be happy when a game launches with issues and bugs and game breaking bugs at that? But we've definitely seen a lot of developers who've just said, sorry, and then they walk off and we never see them again. So the fact that they're willing to do massive gameplay overhauls in terms of the stamina system and just to make the overall experience more fun, fucking phenomenal. And so, yeah, the blood is red. I will say it does not look as gory as the trailers did still, right? It looked like it was going to be super gory, and it's just like, it's still pretty tame as far as that goes. But besides that, man, like, I think they've got a great game on their hands here now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thanks,
tips.
Damien, for bringing us that into tips. Bringing that through. Yeah. Looper the Underground Gamecat with the €5 says a title of your viewer takeover video from 4 years ago was "What Half-Life Alyx winning Game of the Year means for the future of VR." Wasn't TGA though. Okay, so some outlet gave Half-Life Alyx Game of the Year, which is very interesting. And but it wasn't the Game Awards.
And look, and it's not to say the Game Awards is the arbiter of everything, but it is like where everyone in the industry is watching and being a part of it. So that's why, like, it would be symbolic when one does make it on the list.
Yeah, agreed. I wonder. The big question is, I wonder how long it'll take you. But dude, I mean, do you remember? I think it was early PS3 and 360 days, where like the term indie game suddenly became like its own thing, right? Where it was like, oh, this is good for an indie game. Oh, these are the best indie games of the year. These are the best. Like, it was just like indie games were not allowed to be spoken of in the same context as full-fledged AAA games or single A games or whatever. It was like they were just sort of this other thing off to the side, almost like mobile games, but something that we respected a little bit more, right? I think that's where VR games are right now, right? Because I just don't. It's like, oh, we just need to have a category for VR games so that we can say we did that, And but it was great seeing Bellatra win so many awards last night, where it was like, man, it was like Bellatra was everywhere, right? It was I don't even know how many awards it won, but it seemed like every time I tuned in, it was like, oh, the winner goes to Bellatra again, and I was like, oh, dude, like a fucking roguelike card game made by one person is winning tons of awards. That's awesome. So I just think that VR is sort of in the space indie games were a couple generations ago, and we'll get there. So not to rehash the conversation we just had 3 minutes ago.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Grandpa's Barbecue or Gamecat with the Australian $5 tip says, I'm on Team AJ here. Listen, AJ is not here, so you can go fuck yourself. All right, we all good? Moving on. Okay, who's next? I'm just kidding. We love you, Grandpa's Barbecue or Gamecat with the Australian $5 tip. I can't wait to see what he says, though. I'm on Team AJ here. Astro, not game of the year to me, as it was not a hybrid and not playable in VR. I know many will disagree. Yeah, listen, I think Astro being game of the year was awesome. It proved that it doesn't have to be this big fucking Souls-like, realistic graphic hack and slash. It can be anything. But yeah, even though I'm entrenched in the VR space, I can look outside of the VR space and realize that like we are in a very small minority, right? So I am 100% in Astro's corner. Team Asobi did a kick-ass job with Astrobot, and I think it deserved Game of the Year. It would doubly deserve it though with some VR support.
Agreed.
I'm talking a lot tonight. I'm very caffeinated.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I like that everyone's typing numbers in the chat. I didn't want to acknowledge it, but there we go.
I'm going to continue not to acknowledge it. The Virtual Resistance with the $2 tip says Alien Rogue Incursion hype.
Whoa.
Okay,
I heard about that. It's coming out soon, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. Maybe.
I don't keep up with
knows?
VR games. Who keeps up with VR games?
VR's
Losers,
overrated.
Miles. It's almost dead. I keep hearing that VR's dead.
There's no games. Even when games are coming, it's still in the negative. So, yeah.
Okay, so Virtual Resistance is hyped for Alien Rogue Incursion Part 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so Miles, the trophy list for Alien Rogue Incursion was revealed over here on PSN profiles, and
I'm having a look now.
We were
Has it got platinum?
Yes, it does. And let me tell you about the platinum trophy. It is called Defiant Till the End, and the description of it says unlock all other Part 1 trophies.
What?
So, and then if you keep scrolling down, there's more evidence of this Part 1 stuff. So it says Express Elevator to Hell, finish Part 1. So just by finishing the game, I guess, we own this. It says finish Part 1 on insane difficulty, right? So it is, this Part 1 stuff is all over the place. A bit twitchy. In Part 1.
That's weird that they would give you trophies for just half the game that you're playing then. So like you get halfway through the game and they're like, yeah, we can't be bothered to do trophies for the rest of it, so we'll just call it quits. Yeah.
Here's the curious part, Miles. Some
Part
things
1,
say like
curious.
A bit twitchy says in Part 1, throw a gun in the air and catch it seconds before killing an enemy. Like that's kind of a cool move, right? And then this next one says, just for a percentage, says find every piece of intel. But it doesn't say find every piece of intel in Part 1. Right? And then model employee says read every email in Part 1. It's so confusing that some of these say Part 1 and some of these don't. So listen, Miles and I, we have our hands on this game. And so, but I will tell you, I'm going to be fucking as honest as I can with you guys.
Okay.
I have no idea what this means.
Whoa.
Right? I got to keep playing. So here's the question. Is what they're selling us Part 1 and Part 2 is coming as DLC, purchasable DLC? Is it free DLC? Are these trophies misleading? Is there a Part 2 included in the game that's just like some kind of like massive epilogue? Like I have no idea what this is referring to. So,
but it is the fact that the platinum, because even if there was no like, if it was an epilogue and stuff, the fact that unlock all other Part 1. Well, do you know what's funny actually? Is it says unlock all other Part 1 trophies, and a lot of the trophies don't have Part 1 in it, so you get platinum for not doing them all. Dude, that's interesting, man. I mean, even if there are plans to make a follow-up game, a sequel, I mean, that's bold, man. That's bold. You don't need to make a point of it in the trophies. You know what I mean? Just do the trophies for this game.
Yeah, it's it's so confusing. Why would you say part one in the trophies, and especially if this hasn't been advertised as a part one game. So, and I know why it hasn't been advertised as a part one game, Miles, because in case you didn't see on our run of show, Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, sent a viewer takeover question because he's also a little concerned about part one games, saying what VR games have been marked as part one or chapter one that we never saw a chapter two or part two for. What is there's this was kind of like almost like an embarrassing trope in VR games for a long time, where we would get like Soul Dimension episode 0, and in the description it would be like, the 6-part series is coming soon, and this is the prologue, and blah blah blah. So you'd buy like this $5 game, and then we'd be like, hey, when's Soul Dimension episode 2 and 3 and 4 and 5? When are those coming out? And just we'd never hear from the developers again. We're like, huh.
Well, at least it isn't called season 1. At least I didn't call it season 1. I'd be like, oh my god, yeah. Get the face hugger battle pass. Get a dab it. Join your face huggers to dab. Like nice. You're fighting xenomorphs and they're all doing this. Well, they're like Servius are like, yeah, we really wanted to push forward the IP. Although you can actually make your xenomorph dab in Fortnite. I've done it.
What do you think this means, Miles?
What does it mean? I genuinely have no idea.
What could it? Well, what could it mean?
It's one of two things. Yeah. Well, let's narrow it down. The two main possibilities are there's a sequel, another game, or there's a DLC. I don't think the sequel is the thing because
they wouldn't call it part 1, right?
Unless the Alien Isolation 2 they're making. The twist is that this is actually the prequel to that. Oh. And that is part 2. Dun, dun, dun. No, I mean, I genuinely, I'm leaning towards it's a part of a DLC. Which, to be honest, we mock it now, but that would actually be really nice and forward thinking because, when a DLC comes out, you get a new batch of trophies. And yeah, so maybe that is it. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do a part 2. Has Servius done DLC for any of their prior games?
Oh man,
did they do it for The Walking Dead?
Hold on. I don't believe so. I don't think that Walking Dead had any DLC. I know Electronauts had like massive updates, but not like DLC. Yeah. I don't think. Sprint Vector, I don't believe so. I don't think so. I don't think they ever have. Listen. I think what would have been cool is if when the game ends, right? Like you had like maybe Servios like didn't know that like PlayStation trophies or that like achievements were like viewable beforehand or something. Because how cool would it have been if you were played through all of Alien Rogue Incursion and you're like, oh my god, I fucking beat the game, and then like the platinum trophy pops up or something, or a gold trophy pops up and says you beat part 1, and you're like, oh, there's gonna be more. Like, see, I feel like that would have been a very cool reveal, but revealing it now through trophies before anyone's played is just so weird. Like, this is.
To be honest, I would just say to people, I wouldn't read the trophies if you have already, because there are a few things that I think are borderline spoilers. And by the way, that's not going to influence anything I'm about to say now, so there's no worries about it. I'm curious, like some people in the chat have been saying it, what if part 2 is like the procedurally generated roguelite element, that once you complete the game, there is just this like end game that they've made, which is like, there's just like, I don't know, yeah, a roguelite version of the game, and it's like, we don't want trophies to be tied to that, although the question would be, well, why not? A lot of games have end game content that they do tie trophies to, but that could be it, where they go, no, part 2 is, I don't know, let's say you escape, it's like, and now you're in this whole new facility, and it's like just this bonus content, and they've decided for that's just for people that want to enjoy the game to that level, but we want the trophies and that to be tied to the campaign that we made. It could be something like that. But again, all of this could be the case. It still feels odd for it to be written that way in the trophies.
The whole thing seems very strange. All I can think all I can think is that there's going to be some kind of DLC. There's going to be some kind of separate game. So we were speculating about this in voice chat before the show. Not you and I, me and some of the cats. And I think Rypop might have had the best suggestion for this. The game has been in development for a long time, so they probably had a lot of ideas, and they were probably trying to get a lot of stuff into it. I wonder if the game just got too big, and this is what Rypop said. The game might have gotten too big. And now, when it comes to trying to make a release date, you go, okay, let's just chop it off here. And let's polish what we've got and make sure it all runs and works smooth, and and so like we won't, and then we'll get the back half of this game. We'll work on that later, and then we'll release it separately. That's part of it, but couldn't part of it also be that the Quest is yet again holding PC gamers and PSVR2 gamers back because you're working with a very limited hard drive space over there, right? You can't just say, hey, our new game's 50 gig, right? Because that's an issue. That's an issue. You're like, oh, then you're asking Quest gamers to like just start deleting shit off their headset constantly. And so I wonder if it maybe could be a combination of both of those things.
Yeah, no, that could very well be the case. Yeah, man.
Anyway, I am playing this.
The new one will be called Part 2 will be called Alien Rogue Incursion again, or something like that, because be what it's called.
I mean, sticking with the Alien and Aliens theme, maybe it'll be Alien Rogue Incursions.
Do you know the story about James Cameron when he pitched Aliens? What he actually did in the meeting room? Do you know about this?
Is this real or is this a joke?
No, this is. Oh no, okay. As in, like, it was James Cameron joking. No, this is something that James Cameron claims. He went into the boardroom and he wrote Alien 2, and he says they weren't really going to buy it. So then what he did was he drew the S and then the dollar sign through the S, as in like money. And then they were like in the joking way, they were like, okay, yeah, we get this.
Nice.
That was a story he tells. I think it's an amazing story. I don't even care if it's not true, but yeah. Yeah, people are putting it in the chat.
Excellent. Love it. I don't think I'd heard that before.
So that's what they need to do for the follow up. They just need to go and put the dollar sign through it.
Well, listen. Like I said, I'm just getting started with this one. I'm really excited to actually like get into it and have some good impressions for you guys. And we'll definitely be talking about this game next week.
And actually, just to say on that, like, massive thanks to Servius for the keys. I've not touched it yet. That will come as no surprise. The first time I will be touching it is on a Let's Play live stream. And so yeah, I have no idea, and I can't wait to play it.
AJ the Gamecat Puppeteer with the £2 says any update on the release date for Star Child on PSVR 1. Man, that'd be so great. That would be so great. It would be great to sorry, I just lost my train of thought. It would be great to have a complete list of every canceled game or every announced game that never got released on PSVR 1. It's something I'm doing as part of my horror game retrospective, which, yes, I know, is only 2 months late. Guess what? It's going to be 12 months late. So there.
By the way, I love that everyone's a part of Improv Group now. Everyone's coming up with the names for part 2.
Nice.
Some of them.
Alien Re-Incursion. I like that name.
Yeah, recursion. Rogue incursion of your mum. That's a bannable offense. That's really not on.
That's crazy. Guys, real quick before we get too far into the show, we're like 45 minutes in. Guys, Gamecat Meetup is happening in May. It feels like it's so far away, right? And it feels like we just did the last one, but Gamecat Meetup 2025 is happening in May, and that's not that far away. It's happening in Boston during PAX East. PAX East 2025, and those badges went on sale this week. They're currently on sale. They don't generally, like, especially the 4-day passes. They don't stick around very long. And so if you're interested in coming to the Gamecat Meetup, that is sort of, we do it in Boston during those exact dates, so that there's like this hub, that like this place that we can hang out, right, where that has video games. We can all go like walk the floor together. We can all go eat together. We can all go hang out in Boston together. And so please, this is all organized over on our Discord. If you're interested in coming, make sure you get your passes, because this is like the central hub of Gamecat Meetup 2025. Really cool place to hang out. The panels, like the floor doesn't change from day to day, but man, there's always these awesome panels, and I had so much fun going to different panels last year. And Miles and I are committed to doing our best, to making sure that we do a live episode of GamesCast from the show floor, not the show floor, the panel, like from the show though, from the actual PAX location. Last time we had to do it in the hotel, but Miles has great ideas in order for us to be able to make sure we get a panel room this time. I think
no guarantees, but we'll definitely put something together. And also it's funny that you're going like it's come around quickly and it's in May, and a part of me is like, my God, can you imagine if it was taking place the same time next year? Like how much closer? Like it feels close, and we've been given additional few months. Absolutely wild.
Yep.
Was it March? Was it March of this year? It
was March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was cold. It was real cold. Like I'm from here, right? And the fact that I was still like, God damn, this is cold. Like I felt for everybody. It was a rough March. So the fact that it's going to be a little bit warmer is going to be really nice. So yeah, listen, I was actually really surprised. I've been hearing from people who said they're going to come, and I was like, wow, I didn't think you were going to be able to make it. I think it may not be like massive, like it may not be much greatly bigger. How am I trying to say this? It's not massive, much greatly bigger, Miles. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be like twice as big as last year, but I think it's going to be significantly bigger than last year. That's what I was trying to say. So, Virtual Reality Gamer says 2026 in the UK. You can have your own meetup over there, Miles.
We could indeed, and maybe we will.
I don't know. I've been saying I need to travel, so maybe I'll come visit you.
EGX, yeah.
We can do something. Yeah. When's EGX?
It's literally just been because it's merged with MCM Comic Con in the UK. Okay. It was, I think it was literally last month. When was it? I can't see it. Oh, it was October. Yeah, 25th to the 27th of October, which feels like yesterday. But we had November since then.
We have people come from everywhere to this thing. It's so cool, man. It is. When cats show up and they're from other fucking countries, I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, it was just mind-boggling. You know what I mean? And I mean, not just the fact that they traveled so far to come hang out at a Gamecat Meetup, but also like to start putting faces to names that you've been seeing for months or years or whatever it's been. It's just an amazing experience. This community is so amazing, and in person, they proved it. They really proved it. Where are we, man? We've got a bunch of things to talk about still. So let's keep it moving. The GameCat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $2 tip says, "Happy fucking Friday!" He put a lot of Y's in there, so it's not just 2 Y's. 2 Y's. I was gonna say 2 Y's for every day. No, you know what? It's a lot of Y's. It's a lot of Y's. Friday. Yeah.
Very wise.
Very wise. Hey, did you play the Phasmo update?
I didn't. Did it get announced yesterday?
I don't know.
Or the day before?
Bro, the last week has been like,
I know. I just don't know, man.
5 hours long. I was sick in bed for half of it, so it doesn't help.
And what's the? I didn't even look up what the update is. Christmassy and what? Like Santa's there. Like you get to see a Santa.
Yeah, listen. There's something about Krampus, right? And like some of the I only stopped in for like a couple missions, and there's like snow everywhere for some of the maps, and there's like a Jack in the Box. Remember during the Blood Moon?
Yeah.
During that event, there was like the creepy things you take pictures of. Well, there's now Jack in the Boxes, and so it's got its own thing going on.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but the big thing I think everybody here's more concerned about isn't so much about what the content is for the for the seasonal event, I think most people are going to be interested to find out that the DFR, dynamic foveated rendering option, now works without the world wobbling everywhere.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it does. And that is why I brought it up. Because remember, remember it used to be awful. Like, it was unplayable. Like, you couldn't.
Oh, dude, it was like the whole world would just shake around you. It was like you're in a glass box of reflections. It's all just shaking. It was wild, and it was not. And you told me it was not a characteristic of one of the entities. It wasn't. I was there in the tick book going, it's not infrared. Is it dynamic foveated rendering distortion? No.
Right. Also, ghosts don't haunt us in the lobby.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's a safe space. Yeah.
So anyway, so you can now turn it on, and I will tell you that like we've had this conversation so many times on Gamescast. I think it might have just been on Wednesday's show. I didn't mean to sound like I was irritated, but I was really fucking tired and irritated. But I just, when we talk about dynamic foveated rendering, we talk about it for a reason, right? Because it usually boosts it's one of those things that can allow the frame rate to be boosted to like a 90 native instead of 120 reprojected, or it can, enhance the resolution. Like, everything gets so much sharper in your focal point. This doesn't do either of those things, right? So you click it on and you're like, oh, it works now. But everything looks fucking identical to the way that it did before I clicked it, until you go to some of the bigger maps. And it helps significantly with the frame rate. There are a lot of places, like when you first step outside the lighthouse map, when you first get out of the truck and start walking up, there's always a stutter there. Not there now. It's just not there.
Right.
And so, and on the Pro, do not quote me on this, but what I've tested so far on the Pro, I have not been able to make the Pro stutter at all with the DFR on. Now, I will continue testing and find out, because I love this game and I play it anyway, whether I'm testing shit or not. So I will definitely let you know if it happens. But I was playing with people on the standard PlayStation 5s, and they were seeing minimal frame drops only at very specific times. So big improvement here, guys. That's great. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. That's all I've got to talk about for Phasmo today, Miles.
Well, I would say I'm going to jump in after the show, but I'm definitely tired. And then this weekend, I'm actually going to be doing a lot of Let's Plays, like playing catch up, because all these games coming out next week, dude. Oh, I think I've got 35 games I'm behind on, so I'm going to try and do a big dent this weekend. So we're good for the new week. But yeah, I can't wait to play more Phasmo.
Yeah, agreed. I got a lot to get caught up on, man. Being sick for like 4 days or whatever, again, was just bad. Dude, there was a point where I was like, I just need to take Friday off. I'm not going to do PSVR this week. I'm not going to do Gamescast. And instead,
I forced him.
Instead, we're doing Gamescast, and I scripted a PSVR this week, and I'll be editing that tomorrow, and blah 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 blah
this
blah.
week,
right? So I've got a lot to get caught up on, but that means a lot of hopefully really good content coming your way very soon, and hopefully also currently at this very moment. This is one of those things.
Nice.
Yes. All right. What else we got here?
Speaking of games coming up.
Speaking of games coming out next week, bro. This actually really surprised me. Right before the show, A2D Games announced that Subside is coming out next week.
You'd be like, just take. Everyone's like, we expect it next year. Like, it's a crowded field, and they're like, no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So when's it coming out, Brian? How soon?
Oh, I don't know. Isn't it next Friday? The 20th.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So one week.
Friday. Yep.
Yeah, 1 week from today, Subside will be in our grubby little hands, and I am very, very excited to see how it looks and plays and feels. Here's the most surprising thing, Miles, is that it seemed like for a while we weren't going to get pro support at launch. The dev had said, that he really wants to see how much he can push it, and it's just not going to be there at launch. And I was like, well, that's cool. We just want to play the game. We'll get pro support later. And then with this announcement that it's coming out next week, next Friday, he also announced it's launching with pro support. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So this is, I think this is going to be a really cool release.
I have no idea about the game. I've seen all the pretty gameplay footage, but I don't actually know what the game is. Like, it's you're just swimming about, like, and you got to find collectibles. Is that what it is?
I don't know. It's a good question. AJ was talking about the first couple missions, and it does seem like you're just kind of like going around, maybe like collecting things here and there.
And I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. I'm totally cool just getting collectibles if it looks absolutely gorgeous and beautiful.
Yeah.
And doesn't prey on my thalassophobia. So yeah.
Well, I don't need it to do too much, man. Like I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. I am very, very excited to see how it looks in the headset, though. That's always exciting. Can't wait for that A2D software logo to come up and have it be crystal clear or blurry.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Then I can be disappointed very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it sounds like AJ's in the chat. What's up, AJ? He says, and exploring. And he says, and it does. So good. And it does.
It's very important if it does as well.
Yes.
That's important. That top list of what I want from games is dynamic foveated rendering. I want ray tracing, and then and it does.
And it does. Yeah, for sure.
And it does. If it does, then you're in for a good time. So yeah, I'm down for that.
Agreed. This is all great news, man. This is all really great news. I'm very, very happy. It is weird, man. It seems like we also have like Masters of Light coming out next week, which is
yes.
So it's like Alien, Masters of Light, and this, and it's just like, man, like what else could possibly drop next week unexpectedly to just throw more chaos into the mix? And I'm sure it'll happen. So, moving on. Wait, we get tips.
We do, yeah. I was going to say, but like the runner show, we've actually done it pretty good. So yeah.
That was
tip time.
Both of us had a lot to do tonight and had a long day, so the goal was to keep it short and sweet. Demo in the chat keeps asking about Aces. Aces is 2025. They officially delayed that into 2025. So you can hope, but I don't think you're going to get too lucky with that. Dreamcastic channel with $5 tip says, I know you're not a hand tracking fan, Brian, but picture this: The Force Unleashed VR, lightsaber with controller, and using the Force with the other hand. Now we're fucking talking.
Whoa. Synapse. Synapse, dude. Yeah, like, dude, that would be so good. I want to know if that's actually going to be possible, that you can do. Oh, dude, that would be amazing. That is a perfect example of like how it should be used. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Right? Because I mean, very, very, very few games.
I've never used telekinesis in my personal life, but
no,
you're not going to feel much in your hand. I mean, the energy might be, but it's just your hand. A gun, you feel, so it would kind of excuse it. I know there's kind of good having the adaptive triggers on it, but no, I think just using your hand, having the freedom of it, and you know,
I don't know. Whenever I use telekinesis in real life,
yeah,
there is a vibration, like an inherent vibration that comes from within, not from without, from within.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And so, right?
Okay.
I think I'll miss that.
That's
an excellent point, Dreamcastic. That is somehow I've never thought of like some kind of hybrid hand tracked game where one hand is using one and one hand's not. I wonder if that's possible. You might have just gotten the gears turning though. I'm very excited now. Paradise Decay with the $2 says 42. Did I win? No, it's never 42, PD. It's never 42. But thank you for playing. Drive through. Darth Vader the Gamecat with the $2 says, Miles, what's your thought on? Oh my fucking god.
Behemoth and Saints and Sinners.
Yes, what are your thoughts on Behemoth and Saints and Sinners?
Wicked. It's as if it's made by the same people. It's really weird. And lots of people in the chat are saying about the Synapse thing. That yeah, if you were using your hand, how would you move? You'd have to play room scale. Sorry, there's no other way. Just have to have a really big room.
I mean,
and a long cable.
if the hand tracking is good enough, can it not just track my thumb and pretend like I'm using an analog stick?
Well, for me, it's like, well, I just use my telekinesis, so I'm actually controlling the other controller anyway with my hands. I'm double telekinesing it. There we go. Blade and Sorcery, I've actually never played, and I've heard it's amazing. So I do need to jump into it and give it a go.
Yeah, it's a big one for sure. I've never played it either, but everyone loves it. I give Vader a hard time because he is obsessed with Blade and Sorcery. He's just giving me a hard time because he just wants me to talk about it on every single show. We got fifth with the Australian $2 tip says Miles. Brian, favorite movie of 2024.
Oh, it's been a Miles year for movies, and it hasn't finished yet because Sonic 3 is coming out. Is out. It's just had the premiere. What has been my favorite movie of 2024?
I don't know where my phone is. I wish I had my phone so I could check Letterboxd.
My gut feeling is, I know what the worst movie I saw this year was, although it wasn't a new movie. It was Saw X. Absolutely abysmal.
Have you seen Spree?
Spree? No.
Yeah, it's one of the kids from Stranger Things, and so he's like a wannabe influencer, wannabe YouTuber type thing, and so he like rigs up his it's like Uber or Lyft, but it's a in universe driving company called Spree, and so he sets up his Spree car with all of these GoPros and cams and everything, and then he streams constantly, and then he starts killing people, and it's
wow,
every bone in my body. When I rented that movie, I was like, this is going to be terrible, but I need to see if it's any good. I was so ready for it to be terrible, and I was just waiting for it not to be good. And I was like, this is way fucking better than it should be. I was like so into it the entire time that like I didn't pick up my phone. I wasn't like looking like at anything. Dude, I'm easily distracted. I'm very easily distracted. When I watch a movie, 9 out of 10 times will not finish. I finished no problem. Spree was good. Spree was a really fun time.
All right, I'm going to add it. For me, I know this is a controversial one because some people absolutely hated it, but it was genuine. It's made by one of my favorite directors and writers. It's a movie of the time, and I was very moved by it, and that was Civil War. Civil War, I was blown away by it. I've seen it twice now in the theater, and like even the using full rounds in the weapons when they were using their blanks. So like when you hear gunshots, every gunshot felt like impactful and consequential. And if we were to relate it to gaming, it has kind of the grit that you get with like storytelling in The Last of Us. I find it's very grounded, and it left me thinking a lot. So yeah, Civil War was it for me.
Nice. I put you on full screen so that I could do some shit in the background here. Oh, hey, buddy. How's it going? Tornado's here. You guys want to say hi to Tornado? Hey, buddy. Hey.
Yeah,
hey.
people were listing a lot of movies that I liked. So, I mean, Deadpool, Wolverine, I had a really good time with. I saw that twice in the theater. Do you know what? There's a lot of movies this year I saw twice in the theater that I've never done before. Alien Romulus was an amazing time. Getting to see that a second time with my dad in the theater, who I saw Aliens with as a kid. So it was kind of nice. And as soon as the movie finished, my dad went, "Oh my God, that was relentless." Or that was like, he basically said, "Oh my God, that was horrifying." Like he couldn't believe. Because the good thing about Alien Romulus is just when you think it's over, it just goes up a notch and a notch. And yeah, it's spectacular.
All right, man. I think we are, what are we on to here? Oh, we're on to our last tip. Perfect. We got the Gamecat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $2 tip says, will Cocker Ball VR have hand tracking or HOTAS support? Oh my goodness.
Oh yes.
Hi.
I like that this is another part of Improv group. A good part of comedy is it's called the throwback. It's where you throw back to a previous joke that we understand. Obviously, if people have never been on previous shows, they're wondering what the hell's going on. So the constant use of the numbers, the reference of that, I apologize for bringing so many horrific things into the Gamecat vocabulary. But it would have hand tracking, HOTAS support, TBC.
People are saying substance in the chat. definitely.
Oh, dude, I've been dying to see Substance. I need to see it. Yeah.
I don't think I finished it off, man. Like again, I was very into it while I was watching it, and I kept thinking, but I absolutely hate when I'm watching something and I keep thinking how I would have done it better. That means it's not as like if me, a non-filmmaker, is sitting there going, "Oh, they should have done this instead. Oh, it would have been way more impactful if they had done that." Like, I can't turn that part of my brain off, or if I can't turn that part of my brain off while watching a movie, it means that something's not right. Right? Great movie, but like for me personally, something like just wasn't clicking. And so I didn't finish it, but I will go back and finish it because I thought it was interesting. Very interesting. All right. Yes, definitely hand tracking for cock and ball VR. How else would you do it realistically, at least? Yeah. All right. I think we're caught up on tips, and it is time for a little.
Rumors are that cock and ball is the part 2 for Alien Rogue Incursion. Who knows? It could be.
Okay.
And it got rejected by Q&A, so that's why they had to rip it out last minute.
There you go.
As in the game, not the cock and ball, but yeah.
Rip out the cock and ball. Don't rip out the cock and ball.
We were doing so well, Brian. We were doing so well. I apologize.
I don't think we were. I don't think we were doing well. We were never doing well. And I'm saying from the very beginning, not today, just from the beginning, we're not doing well. All right, man. It's time for a 4-minute challenge. That means I've got a PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game in my head.
In my head.
Yep. I was actually thinking that. See? So you guys have 4 minutes in an infinite number of yes or no questions to figure out what PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game I'm thinking of. Are you ready, Miles?
I am ready.
On your mark.
Not, but yeah.
Get this. Go.
Does it have multiplayer?
Yeah.
Is it on PSVR 2?
Yeah.
Is it on PSVR?
Yeah.
Is it on other headsets?
Yeah.
Multiplayer game on PSVR. It's a multiplayer game that's on everything. Okay. Is it a rhythm game?
No.
Is it a shooter game? Are you primarily shooting?
No.
Are you primarily controlling a vehicle?
No.
Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Wow, we're going through all the genres here. Is it a horror game?
No.
Have they gone for a realistic art style?
I would say no.
It's not a puzzle game, people. Did it come out on PSVR 2 this year?
No.
Okay. It's not Gorilla Tag. Because I was going to... Is it a Miles game? Would Miles like it?
I'm assuming you would, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Did DMEA come out on PSVR?
DMEA was a launch title on PSVR 2. But no,
yeah, but not
come out on PSVR.
It didn't come out on PSVR, I didn't know. It's because people are on lag. No. I was. Oh yeah, but yeah, I knew about PSVR 2. Yeah.
Right.
Is it a sports game?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, we're getting somewhere, guys. Multiplayer sports game. Sorry, let's repeat this. They've gone for realism.
I would say probably not. No.
Okay, probably not. Okay. Is it like American football? Hand egg?
No.
No, it's not. I didn't think there was any on it. Is it table tennis?
No.
Is it actually a sport, as in like one that's played at a national level? It's like an official real life sport.
It is not knock.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Right. It's not. No. It's okay.
No. It is a real sport. Yes.
It's a real sport. Okay.
Yes.
And does it involve a ball?
No, no.
I like the last one we did.
I
Like,
like
does
it.
it have
Could I guess it could involve a ball? No, no, no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're gonna do your own remix of it,
Yeah. No, no ball.
no ball. Okay. Wow, man, it's amazing that I'm asking these questions, and then as soon as you give an answer, I just see the whole chat just being coming in completely invalidated with that. Is it? Oh, is it? Is it boxing?
Yes.
Yes, it is boxing. And I'm just trying to think if there was. Okay. Was it the developer of this game? Did we talk about him on today's show?
We did.
We did. Is it based on a movie?
Yes.
Cool. And is it really fun when you play late at night and then you're playing drunk people around the world and then you're hearing their mates in the background and like you're like beating up a kid and then you hear the mum in the background going, kill him, kill him.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened with me. Is it Creed, Rise to Glory, Brian?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, man. It's VR Skater. Based on the movie VR Skater by Perp Games.
No.
Yes, it is. Coming out April 4th, 2023 on PlayStation VR2. It is Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition.
I adore this game. And it's mainly the multiplayer. I mean, a lot of it is good, and multiplayer is a shame. Honestly, guys, 2 examples I'll give. One was when it came out on PSVR. Was I'd played late at night, and you'd end up boxing people online who were clearly in their living room with their mates drinking beers around them, and they were wasted, and like just drunk fighting was just ridiculous. And then there was one time where I was fighting this little kid, and I just start hearing the mums who's clearly watching him going, kill him, like she's proper getting him to like, and I beat the shit out of him. I fucking decked him. It was amazing.
He deserved it.
He did.
Yeah. Nice.
That's what VR is about, isn't it? So doing things you can't do in real life. Like,
why can't you do that in real life?
Well, you can, but it's just frowned upon.
Beating kids?
Like smashing their skulls in. Yeah,
that's what they're. That's why God made.
No, I think we've spoken about this before, Brian. No, it's not. It's not, man. We'll chat about this afterwards, but yeah, that's not. Anyway, Creed's good game. Good game, man. Good game.
All right. All right, you guys. Do not forget to go over to the PAX East website and pick up your tickets for PAX East. Get your passes. I'm going to be there for all 4 days. I think I took off. Did I take off Sunday? I think I took off Sunday last time, and this time I'm staying an extra day, so I'm going to be there for the duration of the event. It should be fun. So get your passes. Start making plans for PAX East 2025, aka the Gamecat Meetup 2025. It's gonna be awesome, and hopefully you all have an amazing weekend. Make sure you rest up because we got games on the way. You can't play games if you're tired. Not VR games. I guess you could. You could just lay on the floor and just like.
Robbie in the chat says, "Remind me not to ever bring my kids to Gamecat meetups."
They'll leave with black eyes. What happened? Well, Miles and Brian took me out back and beat the crap out of me. It's like,
no, you do it in VR. You do it in VR. But also, no, honestly, if anyone's never played Creed, and obviously it's something you'd have to spend money on, but like I think Creed is great, and they kept adding features to it. One of the features is you can now. I think I might have mentioned it on the show before, but they have a fitness mode where you can set either like duration or like calories. And if you do calories, you fight an opponent, and when you've hit the calorie target, that's when you can knock them out. And I'm just like, I like that. I like that customization. I think it's really, really cool.
Sean Kittleson's in the chat, says, without parole, thanks to you and Miles for giving today's patch Behemoth a swing. The whole team at SDI appreciates your feedback. I did want to say one more thing, and now that I have an excuse to bring it up, when I was running through that intro to Behemoth, haptics seemed better. Like the controller haptics, they seemed like they've been improved. And when that first Behemoth, again, long before the fight, in the first 5 minutes of the game, like swings that whole boulder at you, right, and then drags it away. You feel that in the headset now. I don't think that was there before. It's like it's all so much more impactful. So thank you, Skydance, for improving the game and making me have to rewrite half of my fucking review before I post.
All right, but just a question, Brian, and just while Skydance is here listening, right?
What's up?
The save stones, you know, you put your hands up and then it goes white. Super awesome. But when you're doing it, I mean, I've never used save stones in real life before, so I could be wrong. But I feel like when you do it, you should be getting some vibration in your hands, like a haptics.
Interesting. I ran past every single one today, and as I ran past, I was like, I should be saving. I should be saving. I should be saving. And like I giggled in my head and was like, fuck you, Stone. So I didn't even try it to find out if.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's a little thing. But
yeah.
But dude, you saying that makes me think I can't wait to see some proper speed runs of this game. Like, you know, people absolutely blitzing it. You know,
that's what I felt like I was doing today. If you saw the footage I was playing earlier, like 1000% different than how I almost kind of want to recommend to people, don't explore the first time. Like, just because there are some really long gaps between behemoths, like the first time you play through the game, don't fucking explore. Just like fucking run from place to place and do everything. It's like kind of like an action game. Cool. And then the second time you play through, maybe on the harder difficulty, right? Since there's no New Game Plus, fuck you, Skydance. Why didn't you put a New Game Plus in there? That would have been that number one. That's my number one request in every single game. Put a New Game Plus mode in, right? Because I want to carry shit over. But since they didn't, that means when you play through a second time on the Barbarian mode, it's going to be much harder, especially since you can't carry your shit over. You're going to need to explore in order to upgrade your weapons, right? So take your time with that run through. The first run through, I say, fuck, don't bother exploring. Just run through and have fun.
Someone says you do, Miles. Old Daft says, as in you do feel vibration. I tested it before the show and there was no haptics in it. So yeah.
All right. That's all we get from Sean.
Not to end on a downer.
Grin. Yeah.
I'm still having a lot of fun with this game, and I can't wait to see it through to the end. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you hadn't beaten it.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you in it right now?
I mean, I am on my way to the second Behemoth.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I know. I've got some amazing stuff to come.
Okay. No, I just love hearing that perspective, because it's to be like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. I'm having a lot of fun. I like the new patch, and then be like, oh, but you're not even at the point where like it clicked for me, where I was like, oh my god, I think I really like this game now. So
yeah, well, this is it. My main concern, and anyone from Skydance, they probably did watch my my Let's Play a bit. The frustration I had was the lack of flow. Like, I always felt the stop-start nature of every battle and the stamina stuff. And that's because I was playing on the hardest mode. Just constantly, like, it was either I win the battle and it was like, it just forces you to do things like when you're standing on a wall and you see them down below, they don't try and climb to get up. You're just laughing at them, going, look at you down there. And like, you know, you just wait and then you pick them off one at a time. Whereas now, because they've sorted out the stamina, it's like, no, I'm going to go into this battle. And like, once you take on one enemy, you can go into the next one. And if you miss a parry and they hit you, you die straight away. That's brutal. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm really, really liking it now.
Kevin Russ responds to me and says, nah, I'm not built that way. I need to explore. If the game wants me to go left, I go right. This is how I define myself. And so it is easy for me to say that, having already played through the game and explored everywhere. And now my second run, I'm blasting through. So, you know, play how you want to. Play how you want to, because I am 100% with you, Kevin. Whenever we talk about a game, I think I don't know if all four of us, Miles, I don't know if that's how you are, but Wes and I for sure, AJ and I for sure, we always explore every single corner before progressing. Like, you just need to feel that sense of completion. Be like, I found everything that might be hiding.
Yep. Yeah.
That's you too.
No, I'm the same. That's me as well.
Nice. Well, then ignore me, guys, because if I don't even practice what I preach. So go left when the game wants you to go right. All right, man. It is time to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm very, very, very excited to be starting to feel healthy again and being able to work again. Put the headset back on. I'm feeling very good about lots of things right now, and so thank you for being here. Thank you for all the support. It's been amazing. Miles, thank you, and make sure that everybody, guys, go subscribe to all my co-hosts. They all do great work, and of course, make sure you subscribe to Miles, because when Alien Rogue Incursion comes out, he'll be streaming it on launch day.
Yeah,
for sure. Whenever or wherever embargo is up, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And you're gonna want to see that. I'm still not set up for live stream, so Miles is my proxy live streamer at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really excited for it. And yeah, I'm just going to quickly reel off a load of names in the chat, and then people can say I'm going to live stream quite a few Let's Plays this weekend, maybe tomorrow or Sunday. So subscribe if you haven't already to be notified. I'm just going to read out a list of games that I've got ready to play, and if there are any that stand out that I should check out. A lot of these, I'm like, why have I not done them already? Crazy Kung Fu, Infinite Inside, Max Mustard, definitely. Retropolis 2, Never Say Goodbye, Tin Hearts, Dark Sword Battle Eternity, The Street 10 VR, Chernobyl again, Corridor VR, Mecha Party. You and I talked about this because it has a multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Mecha Party. I mean, hence the party.
And I'll play it with you, man, if you want, because I have not really played it yet.
Yeah. Snow Scout, Space Explore. We got Mercenary Tales, Dead Second, Human Falls Flat, Darkness Roller Coaster. I think that's it for the moment. So there's quite a lot there. Space Docker I've already done, actually. Into the Radius, actually. I didn't read that one out. I've got Into the Radius. I haven't played that yet.
Oof,
which I know. How have I not played that yet? And people saying Madison is the only Let's Play I need. My plan is to jump back in throughout Christmas. I think it'll be a really nice Christmassy game. In that purgatory season between Christmas and New Year, where you don't know what to do with yourself. That's what I'll do. But yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's do my quick little rundown of thank yous. Thank you to everybody who supports the show, all the mods, everyone who supports the show financially, patreon.com/withoutparole games, everyone over here who's a member, everyone who tips during the show, everyone who comments, keeps us entertained while we try to keep you entertained. Everybody's just back and watch the show. Doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. What the fuck was that? Happy Friday, Mouse.
Happy Friday, Brian. Happy Friday, Gamecats. Have a wonderful weekend. Catch you soon.
Here it is, your clip of the week, courtesy of Andrew Ehrenreich. Now that is the kind of fun you can have during Behemoth, which again,
I haven't picked up that item, the card. I must have stepped over that collectible.
It's crazy, man. Like I swear, everybody in the world is better at video games than I am, right? Like, why would I ever try to catch an arrow that's coming at me? Why would I ever do that? I would just kind of like step out of the way or sprint out of the way, dodge, whatever, and Andrew's like, I'm just gonna grab it out of the air, and then, and also great editing. That was wonderful editing. I love it.
Yeah, that is proper social content. I'm very proud of that. Of that. What
Absolutely. So make sure if you want to be clip of the week next week, you go submit your clip to our clip of the week channel over on Discord. Come join us over on Discord. Click the link in the description below. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. We love you.